All right, perfect. Hi guys, so welcome to the Emergency Services Committee meeting for April 20th, 2026. Just call the meeting to order. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Donna, second by Matt, that the meeting be open at 6:00 p.m. All in favor? Okay. All right, and the adoption of the agenda. So I need a mover and seconder. So, that the agenda for the Emergency Services Community Meeting for April 20th, 26 be approved as circulated. All in favor? Okay. Any disclosure of pecuniary interests? And the adoption of previous minutes. So I need to move in a second for that. Let's go back this way, I guess. And so moved by Donna, second by Matt, that the minutes of the Emergency Services Community Meeting held February 9th, 2026 be adopted or circulated. All in favor? No presentations or delegations, which brings us to 6A staff reports from the fire chief.
All right, good evening, everybody. This report details the operations and the involvement of the Bonfield Fire Department from February 10th, 2026 till April 16th, 2026. Our operations, we have 19 operational volunteer members with hopefully 2 more to be affirmed at next council meeting at the end of this month. During that time frame, we responded to 11 calls for service, 6 medicals, 1 structure fire, 1 burning complaint, 1 MVC, 1 lift assist, and 1 ambulance assist. Year to date, we've run 14 calls for service for the 2026 calendar year. For our training report, our training overview. I'm sorry, I should put the purpose. Purpose of this training report was to enhance operational readiness, ensure all personnel are proficient in the use of firefighting equipment, and maintain compliance with safety standards through regular inspection and maintenance. For our training overview, our type of training is practical and theoretical firefighting skills. That's held every Monday night. Duration is between 2 and 3 hours. And our average number of participants is anywhere between 17 and 20 per training night. Our key focus areas are SCBA comfortability and air management drills. We did some water drafting operations at the dam. That was back in February. We do medical assessment and scenarios. We got a brand new accountability tag and board, and we did some training on the accountability system. We got new digital radios that were placed in the service back in February. We also did some proper radio transmissions with practice. At the end of February, beginning of March, we did a chimney fire scenario was discussed. We have 3 different workstations were operated. Recruits did the PPE donning and doffing led by firefighter Adam Fulton. The EFR Emergency First Responder Group, that was our practice medical scenarios led by Captain Mason. And our non-trained EFR group did SCBA donning and air management drill. So the non-EFR group are the juniors and the firefighters that have not been confirmed yet by council. At the conclusion of these drills, the recruits did the SCBA donning and air management drills, and the non-EFR trained personnel did practice medical scenarios. So we got them trained ready for when we do the first aid and EFR training, that they'll be ready to go. The firefighters trainer practice firefighter survivor skills. They consist of what we call is a lobster trap or a wire crawl prop box.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, oh, it's lots of fun. I've done it many times. It's lots of fun. And it's approximately 10 feet long. The scenario have firefighters practice on what to do if they become entangled in wires when we do interior firefighting and how to escape. The biggest thing we teach them how to escape is just to take a breath and compose yourself, because you're tangled up. Take a moment to think where you are, where the wires are tangled up. Are they on your SCBA? Are they on your person? And how do we get them off of you?
Where do you do that?
We have a training prop.
Oh, like in the garage?
Yeah,
Bring them in
yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Would you ever drop them underwater and do that? Or-
No.
That's the next step.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then we also now if that wasn't bad enough, at the end of the box is drywall. We show
Oh,
them.
you gotta punch.
They
it.
gotta punch through, force a way through. Yeah. So you're already physically exhausted, fighting how to get untangled from the wires, and now at the very end, you have to breach a wall to get out.
But it is about staying calm.
It
right?
is, yes. That's the biggest thing, and that's what we were teaching them. If you just take a moment, stop moving, take a breath, figure out where you are, where the wires are, take your arm, because you're in like this. So take your arm as you can, feel where the wires are along your bottle. Are they trapped underneath the bottle, neck of the bottle? Are they around your shoulder? Are they around the back of your helmet? Because it's anything else, especially any kind of wired situation, when you're struggling, you're just gonna get more and more entangled.
Yeah. I guess the next step is blindfolded, right? Because sometimes you're in complete darkness.
Yep. The firefighters, we did some water shuttling exercises as well as hose advancement. This exercise focuses on how to draw from a water source, i.e. the dam. And the place of a porta tank and how to draw from the porta tank. So we used a tanker in our porta tank, so we dropped the water into our porta tank. The operator of the pumper tanker would draw the water from the porta tank, and the driver from the tanker would take the tanker back to the dam and then draft the water from the dam back into the tanker. A ground monitor was also incorporated in exercise. So a ground monitor is what we use if we want to do protective exposures, and we don't want to tie personnel up because we may be limited with personnel we have on scene. So we'll activate a ground monitor. So basically, it's a giant sprinkler system on the ground.
Right.
We call it a water curtain, but it acts like a sprinkler system.
Right.
Fire department, we received a presentation. This was at the end of March 30th to be exact. We received a presentation on the Drager Airboss SBA system. That's what we're looking to do, replace our aging SCBAs. All our surrounding departments use Drager. So that way it's uniform right across the municipality between us and our neighboring departments. So if we ever did a mutual aid call with the surrounding departments, we could use their SCBAs. Like we have our act, we can use their bottles.
Right.
Department is looking to replace it. Yeah, they also later on, it was the week after that, we did what's called a real-time training trail rescue. So Deputy Strood constructed a training exercise for the firefighters. So they went out and it was along a snowmobile trail. And okay, now you have someone that who has medical attention, needs to be brought out. What do we do? How do we do it? We incorporate the instant command system as well in that. So I took pretty much the whole training like there. That was almost 3 hours right there. There was a lot of good takeaways from that training exercise. So the guys also used the gator on the tracks to access remote areas on the snowmobile trail. The firefighters were to locate the patients using the What 3 Words app. So there's an app called What 3 Words. So it's used on GPS. So if you're ever lost, if you have the What 3 Words app, just hit the What 3 Words, and when you call 911, you give them those 3 words, they can coordinate where you are. Yeah, and then they can tell us where you are, and we can find you based on
But
the
everybody
coordinates.
has to have that app.
Yeah, everybody has to have the app. Yeah,
Are we doing some kind of training on that or?
we did that. That was incorporated in this.
No, but like an educational, maybe pub ed or?
That's next to come on for our next pub ed. Yeah. So we're actually looking to put that in with our next pub up in June when we are doing the. This one's coming up in June because we just did the trade show.
I will be the community.
Yeah, thank you, Community Day. Yeah. Once located, the patients were given the appropriate medical care and packaged up for removal. The instant command system and radio protocols were also used in this exercise. So it's to get everybody familiar and used with the radio system that we have, how to talk on the radio system. Equipment checks and maintenance protocols were also exercised, as well as safety and hazard awareness. So again, it's anything else when we do any kind of training exercise, we always make sure that's safe for us to use it, because it's, even though we're training for real life scenarios, we want to make sure it's safe for the firefighters, so that way they feel more confident doing the training exercise when they come out of it.
Oh, sorry, that's a good segue into, I was speaking with Jason. I'd like to have posters printed out, hard posters like that say the 7 rules. So number 1 is responder safety, right? So that you can't go into any situation that is not safe for the responders.
That's right.
Number 1. Even if there's like imminent danger to other people, and responder safety is number 1.
Yeah, so what we do there is we look at our risk analysis.
Yeah.
So we risk a lot to save a lot.
Yes.
We risk a little to save a little. So then, depending on the incident commander, they will make a determination, is this area safe to send our firefighters into? If it's not, then the incident commander will say it's a no-go, and then we'll come up with a backup plan to access whoever we have to access.
And then number 2 is preservation of life, and then number 3 is protection of property and infrastructure, right?
And the
So they're-
environment.
Yeah, so we had them all printed out nicely. It's just a good reminder. So I think Jason and I might see about
Sure.
getting that done for the station. I think it's just a good reminder.
Well, no, it's okay, you have to look into it as a workplace, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
for our equipment checks during the session, for our training session, all firefighting equipment underwent a thorough inspection to ensure operational reliability. So that's the first 10-15 minutes. That's what everybody does when they come in. They check their packs, check the equipment on trucks, make sure it's in operational readiness in case we do get a call.
Morning.
My apologies for being late.
Hey, Jason.
We got the message.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Yep, so we do PPE, which is our bunker gear, our gloves, our helmet, our balaclavas. And we check everything for rips, tears, also burns. We look for anything that could tell us that the PPE may need service. And one big indication is if the reflective wear is what's the word I'm thinking? Because it's discolored. That's what it is. If it's discolored, that's a big indication to me that the PPE has been exposed to high heat. It needs to get tested to see if it's still operational, still meets the NFPA standards. As always, check our SCPA, our hose and nozzles, our ladders, and our communication devices. So again, our radios are our lifeline. So we always make sure that they're in operational order. For our maintenance activities, we always follow inspections. Necessary maintenance was performed. So the portable pump on tank 1 was repaired in-house. We changed the drive belt on the door operator at station 2. We refilled the SCBA cylinders to full capacity because we're using them every training night. So we always fill them back up. We updated the maintenance logs for all service equipment. So whatever needs to be serviced, especially if it needs to be tagged and out of service. So that way I keep track of the inventory and the asset management to make sure that, when does this equipment need to be replaced? We make sure that all equipment is conformed to operational and compliant to NFPA standards. The firefighters demonstrated improved familiarity with inspection and maintenance procedures. Maintenance records are updated for accountability and future reference, and then all firefighters, including probationary and junior firefighters, show competency. Recommendations that we continue what we're doing on a weekly basis, and then we always schedule a monthly refresher. So what we'll do is we'll take one training a night out of the month, and that's our refresher. For our special training, we have firefighters preparing for NFPA certifications. We just had Deputy Strood, firefighter Caldo, and firefighter Sheridan just finished the hazmat course this weekend, just passed.
Wow.
So they're now done. And that course is part of their firefighter 1 and 2 certification. So to be firefighter 2 certified, you have to have the hazmat course.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
As always, our practical firefighting skills are trainings led by Training Officer Tassula, as well as Deputy Strood, myself, and Captain Mason and Captain Watson. The officers were always having, one of us is always leading the training exercise revolution. The firefighters are actually taking self-paced educational courses related to the NFPA certification. So I get firefighters asking when I take courses that cost us $65 online. I just sign up and I will approve it. So that way it's always part of the continuing education. Now for my updates. Yeah. As always, our ongoing trainings for the new recruits and firefighters and junior firefighters. We have 2 announcements tonight for our firefighter month for February and March.
Yes.
So myself and the entire Baumfield Fire Department would like to congratulate firefighter Adam Parcher on being selected as the volunteer firefighter month for February. Adam is always looking for ways to improve the Baumfield Fire Department and is eager to help the new recruits. Adam performs every task with enthusiasm. Congratulations, Adam. Yeah, and then the fire chief and the entire Baumfield Fire Department congratulates firefighter Eric Aldridge on being selected as the volunteer firefighter month for March. Eric is working very hard towards his firefighter 2 certifications. He's always eager to help out, and he is one of the firefighters that will be writing his firefighter 2 certification in another month. So Now, for the committee, I would like to recommend that we have you approve of the hiring of firefighter Abby Wilson and firefighter Keelan McLaren to the ranks of probationary firefighter. So Abby joined us at the beginning of January of this year, and Keelan was actually one of our juniors. So he's been with us for over a year now. So now he's 18, now he's of age. Now he can be approved by council at the next council meeting. A new gear washer and dryer were delivered. We took possession of that at the beginning of March. So this equipment will allow firefighters to wash their contaminated gear in-house rather than sending it out to a third party. This is a major step in cancer prevention. So I'm in the works right now of obtaining some quotes to get the washing machine hooked up. The dryer, it's just a drying rack. We can put that together, so, yeah.
Is there an SOP for this?
There is, yes,
Okay.
yeah. So once the dryer's, once the washer is all hooked up, I'll have the SOG all written out. I have provided an update on the points remuneration system. The monthly station inspections were completed for stations 1 and 2, so we tried the first Monday of every month. A firefighter will do the monthly inspection on station 1, station 2. Myself and Deputy Strood attended the Northeastern Fire Conference from March 27th to 29th in Huntsville. Workshops on various topics ranging from health and safety to hoarding were presented. Deputy Strood attended the first responder inspector seminar. I did the health and safety as well as the general that's right, he said not
Main track.
thank you, the main track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I did
so
make track.
CAO Kunkel and I both attended that
Yes.
as well, and it was very good.
A post-incident analysis debrief was completed for the fire on Sunnyside Drive and MBC on Highway 531. So anytime we have a kind of incident like that, we have a debrief. Make sure that everybody's doing okay, what their thoughts are, any takeaways. For our fire prevention, it's always ongoing during any call. We have a monthly fire prevention activities. We have a calendar. So every month we're doing something for fire prevention. As of the date, 11 smoke and CO alarms have been delivered to residents who requested them. And I have kept track of the addresses so we can GIS them so we know what areas of the township that.
So when we were there, there was a presentation on not smoke alarms in heat sensors or
The heat detectors?
heat detectors
Yeah.
in attached garages.
Mhm.
And there was a whole, like, there were a couple of videos on, because it's sort of that extended room and it's attached to your house.
Yep.
Often when the fire starts in the garage, it's too late.
Yeah.
But with the heat sensors or detectors, it goes off, and we saw like both sides where one destroyed the home and the other, the heat detector went off, and people got out and they were able to contain it just to the garage. So I'm sure you both know, this was the first time I'd ever heard of that. So for attached garages, but it might be something to, just let people be aware of, or for new builds, right? If new builds are coming, it's a great thing to have if the garage is attached to the home.
Yeah,
New builds actually stipulate that you need to have a carbon monoxide, if there's an attached garage, carbon monoxide just inside the door, the man door for the
Yeah.
garage.
Which is good,
So.
yeah,
It's good, best to put like a combo alarm there too, just. To be too safe.
yeah, because there's all kinds of flammable and combustible material in your garage, so,
Yeah, but the heat detectors, it's faster notification.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's based on heat, not on smoke.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a rate of rise. Yeah, it's a rate of rise ones. Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah. So it's called a rate of rise detector. So as the temperature rises,
Uh-huh.
then the detector
Yeah.
will activate a lot sooner.
Yes, and that's the difference.
It's a certain number of degrees within a certain time frame, and they'll actually trigger the alarm.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's brilliant, right? So then you've got so much more time to save things and save yourself, so.
That's something that's been around for a while on the commercial side of like commercial construction.
Yeah,
So it's nice that they're rolling it in the residential.
yes, and again, there was like a nice presentation, and you can really see the benefit of this, so.
Cool.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many people know about it, because I did not. So just another question.
Sure.
Why wouldn't they put the heat thing right in houses if you're getting more, right? If it's more about heat than smoke.
I think it's because people are in their house, so they get the
It fluctuates too
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Whereas the garages are left empty most of the time, I think is the idea behind it.
I would like one of everything.
For our, that's okay. For our community involvement, we attended the family day activities at the community rink. There was a skills competition and a friendly hockey game, which consisted of our firefighters, OPP, and the community. We also hosted an open house on Sunday, March 22nd, from noon till 5. The theme was change your batteries in your smoke CO detector and know your escape plan. Firefighters showcased the auto extrication SCBA equipment to the public. And as always, free smoke and CO alarms are available upon request. So if you want one, please just reach out to me. Yep, be more than happy to give you one. I just have to GIS address so we know where on the GIS where we've hit the homes already, so we don't come to your home second time. And that's my first report.
There is a motion following the report.
Right. So the mover and seconder that the committee receives the fire chief's recommendation to hire Abby Wilson and Keelan McLaren to the rank of probationary firefighter for the Bonfield Fire Department. And so mover and seconder. Secondly,
Jason.
Jason. All in favor? Carried. Congrats. 7B is a report from CAO and fire chief on the firefighter points and compensation review.
So I have two reports. I have the original one and a draft one that I worked on. So the very first one is the one that we've been working on for the last year, since I've been here. And basically what it outlines is whether to increase the point values used for volunteer firefighter compensation. That would have a negative effect on overall compensation to the firefighters. Many volunteer fire departments use a point-based system to determine stipends, honorariums, or per call payments, where points are awarded for activities such as emergency responses, training, and community events. The purpose is to determine if increasing the point values would negatively impact firefighter compensation. And the points payout occurs in the first pay period in December of each calendar year. In the 2024-2025 points period, there was a total of 1,725 total points accumulated and paid out. So right now, what you want to work it off right now, because the new one, the draft one hasn't been adopted yet, but the one we're working off right now is when you go to a structure fire, wildland, grass fire, basically any emergency call, you get 2 points for the first 2 hours. And then 1 point for additional hour after that. And then if I can reference the draft one is every response now is 1 point per hour. So it works out to be the same. We need 2 points for the first 2 hours or 1 point for each additional hour. If you need 1 point per hour, what it does is it makes the point value of each point larger or bigger. So that way we're not diluting the point system. Like a bunch of firefighters aren't diluting the point system, but some firefighters, they have other obligations that couldn't come out to community events. Or, if we have calls during the daytime, most of them can't make it. So that's what I've been working on, is to make sure that it doesn't negatively affect them. So with the current one at 2 points versus the one at 1 point, now you may say, well, that's 1 point less per firefighter per call. But you look at it from the other, I looked at it from the other perspective, is that if we get 2 points for the first 2 hours and we go to 1 call, generally our calls last around 25 to 30 minutes for a med call. Now, let's say in that same 2 hours, we get another call. Well, we're still within the 2 hours. If I go to the other,
2 points still.
still 2 points, but the other one, they're getting awarded 1 point for every call they go to. So it's 6 1/2 dozen another. It's just, I think, on the paper, if every firefighter who responds to a call, community event, fire prevention, they awarded the points, they can see that, okay, I responded to 50 calls last year, I should get 50 points. So they see on their point check that it's based on 50 points, not based on 25 points. Or sorry, not based on 100 points, at 2 points per call. So if it was with the 1725, it worked out last year that each firefighter got paid $25 per call. If I go 1 point, same amount, then it works out to around $27, $28 per point. So it's a little bit of an increase. So it's just a way of rewarding. I don't know if I like to use the word rewarding, but
It's
fairly compensating the firefighters that come out to the calls and to come out to the events, as opposed to ones that for various reasons couldn't make it. So then that way their check isn't close to what the other firefighters' check would be, the ones who made all the events, the calls. So that's the draft that I presented to the CAO. We're still in talks on it,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So to clarify, so everybody has a decent understanding, there's an allotted budget for stipends in a year.
Yes, there is, yes.
And then that gets divided by the amount of points that you get put out.
That's correct,
So if
yes.
you're changing your point system and it's not changing the overall budget.
That's correct, yeah,
It's just changing the way it's divided.
that's correct, yes.
This one is what's current?
So yeah, that one's current, yes,
Okay,
yeah.
And then this.
And then
is
this
draft.
one, yeah, this one's draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so then, okay. So in this one, it does not give room for attending meetings or.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, yeah, which is still someone's time.
right, yeah. So it's what the draft version does.
Yeah, yeah,
Courses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so courses, we're gonna, if they do an OFM course, we're gonna give them 3 points right off the bat. If they take courses like Deputy Strew did, then we're gonna pay them the
so the per diem.
thank you, per diem, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way, again, it's not diluting the point pool,
Mhm.
right? Because if we got firefighters that like to take courses,
Mhm.
next to it, the points being diluted by 4 or 5 firefighters that keep taking courses
Right.
over firefighters that maybe didn't have the time or couldn't take the courses.
Right.
So I'm just trying to make it
Yeah.
fair for
yeah,
everybody. I'm
yeah.
trying to make it fair for everybody.
I think it's fair and I think it's encompassing and recognizing the time commitment that that this entails.
Yeah, and that's why when I spoke to the CEO, we
Yeah.
came to agreement that when they take those courses that are over a weekend, they should get paid the per diems as opposed to the points.
Mhm, mhm.
Because that will accurately reflect
Yeah.
that time commitment that they've given.
So 8 is resolutions, which we've done. 9 is our correspondence, so
I believe you put number 7. The regulation.
for the lines or.
Yeah, review the new regulations.
Yeah. So just the numbers are starting out there. So yeah, so. It's under correspondence, right?
No, it's under items for committee discussion. The regulation.
For the wildlife fire management.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sean. Are you prepared to summarize the changes on this
I'm not at the time though.
for the ministry?
No, not this time, no.
No, we got an email about this a while ago, I just haven't done much with it either. This is all from the ministry.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been in talks with my contact Jamie over at the ministry, and so him and I have been having discussions on this.
Yeah, okay, we can defer this for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just do a report on this.
I think this would fall into Jason's realm as well a little bit. We'll make sure that we move him in on it. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, and so our municipality is moving towards AMPS as well.
That's
So
correct.
we just, yeah, so that's good.
All right, and correspondence is the letter from the ministry for emergency preparedness and response regarding emergency preparedness week. 2026. So this will follow me, Jason.
That's, yeah.
You prepared this week for this thing?
We can, we at the event on trade show.
Yeah.
Trade show on Saturday, we actually did talk about, the being prepared together. And the week running from May the 3rd to the 9th. So the strategy has been to build awareness on all of the layers of emergency preparedness. Last year was more on the individuals being prepared. We did still talk about the 72-hour response plan and emergency kits. But now for 2026, this year is bringing everyone together, everyone playing a part. So not just looking out for yourself, but looking out for your neighbors and helping everyone to be prepared. So we will have some public awareness sessions on that. And the EMO will provide a slide pack for us as well that we will use as part of the public awareness.
Do we have some Facebook posts that we're gonna be doing, some social media?
Yes. I'm sorry, this is your first meeting. Yes.
Second meeting,
Did we do an introduction?
I did an introduction in
You're both,
February.
February.
Yes.
you're both here for one. Oh, you did it online, I think, right?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha, perfect. I didn't wanna
Yeah,
No,
not
that's-
cover that if we have.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no closed session, which moves us down to adjournment. So I need a mover and seconder. Moved by Donna. Second by Lauren. And I let the meeting be adjourned at 6:31 PM. All in favor? Great. Great. Thanks, everybody. Motion.